Welcome loyal fans, my name is Matt Armstrong and I will be your host for parts of this video. The program for today is the third race of the Manufacturers' Cup. The second race was sadly missed due to a family getaway, but we are back to racing now. Today we race on the fictional Dragon Trail track in Croatia. Specifically the Dragon Trail Gardens layout, not the one with the death chicane luckily. If you know, you know.
Wait till you see the... No.
Yeah, that was painful. Anyway, this race is an exact copy of the race we had for the Manufacturers' Cup last January, but we will of course still lay out the details of the race anyway. The race we missed last week was in the Group 4 cars, but for this race the Group 3 cars will be used, meaning we can drive the Herbie-inspired Beetle again. Qualifying is slightly extended to 7 minutes, which should allow for 3 flying laps. The race itself lasts for only 20 laps, but it comes with a few challenges, as we will have scripted weather with a lot of rain. The available tyres are the Racing Soft and Medium Slicks, and you are free to use the ones you like. There are no mandatory tyres. There are also no mandatory pit stops, but the changing weather conditions combined with high tyre wear for this race will mean you need to make one pit stop. Since the race will start with rain, starting on one of the wet tyres is needed. In between the rain we will also have some dry patches where rain will let down and pick up, and it takes a while for the track to dry. As such, starting on the intermediates is the right strategy for this race. After around 8 to 9 laps the rain will stop, and by lap 10 the track should be dry enough for slicks. It's probably best to wait until lap 11 to switch to slicks because the dry line will be extremely narrow. Since tyre wear is set so high, the softs will only last about 6 or 7 laps before they completely drop off. So the choice of slicks will be the mediums for this race. There is no alternative strategy to consider here, there is only the choice on what lap you will switch to the slicks. The best window is from laps 10 to 12, and the choice might be dependent on traffic, tyre wear, or the drying of the track depending on how many cars are still left in the race. Alright, that was it for the race info. Let's move on to the qualifying session. Contrary to the race, the qualifying will be completely dry and should be done on slicks. There is a high probability the switch from dry to rain will catch people off guard, but we will see about that later. For now, let's take a look at a short compilation of the qualifying laps. Well, that was a pretty decent time, and for now it's a provisional pole position even. Sadly, one driver managed to sneak in a better time right at the end. Still, a good start position can hopefully prevent getting stuck in midfield shenanigans. Onwards to the race!
Before we do that though, I'll quickly take over commentary from Matt at this point. I'd like to direct your attention to 3 drivers from this lobby who we know. In third place, we have Unit 992, who makes regular appearances in the online leaderboards of Ozzy's Circuit Experience videos. In fourth place, we see HB Kali. We saw him in Friday's practice lobby for this race. He managed a very decent third place in that race. And last but definitely not least, we see our friend Frosty in 9th place. We know him from his regular appearances in Ozzy racing lobbies and Discord. Happy days. For the start of this race, we immediately switch over to another driver who has chosen an interesting strategy. He has chosen to start on the soft slicks for this race. That is bold.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
It did, in fact, not pay off for him. Anyway, let's get to the start for the rest of the field. We know from experience, the Audi doesn't like the curbs on this chicane, and it shows by how much speed difference there is right now. This has caused others to catch right up, which is obviously bad news. That was quite a bump from behind for the Audi, jumping him right back in front. That is definitely not how you leave space for other drivers. Let's see that again from his perspective.
Okay, he pushed me off the track. I think you have to leave a space. All the time you have to leave a space.
Dordnov shows his discontent by flashing his lights, but the damage is already done, down to P4. And there goes the Ferrari in front, bumping him back into third. The pack remains pretty close, so we need some good laps to create a gap behind and catch back up to first and second. First and second are fighting, which is costing them time, but right now this brings the entire field much closer. And here is the first driver taking advantage of a slight slip-up. Whoops, and there he almost binned the car completely. This is costing even more time. Alright, concentration mode on, and keep your head in the game now.
Wildcat! Get your head in the game!
track is about to dry up a bit, but for now, it is extremely slippery, as you can see by all the effort that goes into keeping the car on track. The others in front aren't doing much better though, as Dordanov is now closing the gap to 4th place. Since the track is starting to dry up, it's wise to start cooling the intermediates every chance you get. It will make them last longer, and there is no immediate need to use the slipstream to get closer. Overtaking into the pack in front is going to be extremely difficult anyway. With a good lunge into the hairpin, Unit 992 is now overtaken, and the hunt for 3rd place can begin. The Audi just in front seems to be struggling with how dry the track is, and this front spoiler damage will allow Unit 992 to catch back up. We also see the windshield wiper getting activated, indicating the rain is about to pick back up. And there he is, trying to get back into P4. And he managed to make the move stick and get past. Nice driving from both drivers here. is now really picking up and the dry line is slowly disappearing. It will now rain for about 2 to 3 laps before the rain stops and the track will start to dry out completely. And here we have that pesky Audi again. Let's see if he can get past him for good now. And almost 2 for the price of 1 here with the Ferrari going wide. And finally, the Audi seems to have conceded the position.
Great success.
Now let's see if the gap towards 3rd place can be closed as well. 1st and 2nd aren't too far ahead either. There are still possibilities for a very good result here. The Audi hasn't given up yet and is getting closer due to the small mistakes. Close, but no cigar for now. All Dordonov needs is a few good sectors to shake him off now. And there we have the Achilles heel for the Audi, the chicane. Alright, back to looking towards the front. The pack has started fighting again. Now Dordonov can hopefully catch up to them. there was a slight opportunity, but the Ferrari had the advantage of the dry line, which is starting to come back, and managed to defend his position. And he is immediately putting the pressure on the Porsche in P2. And now he does get 2 for the price of 1.
Wow, it's very nice.
The Ferrari has also wiggled past, and he seems to have good pace all race. Let's see if it's possible for Dordanov to keep him behind. During the race, in the heat of the moment, that overtake felt a bit cheeky from Batazu. Let's take a look from his perspective. Well, he slightly overshot the corner and needed the tap from Dordanov to get around. But still, it wasn't as bad as it felt from this view. We'll leave it be, since he is fast anyway, and try to follow him towards first place for now. We see Batazu pull off for an early stop to slicks. The dry line is still very narrow, so Dordanov will go with the safe option and do another lap before pitting. The intermediates are starting to show some serious wear though, so it's clear it's not an option to try and take them to the end. And there we just lapped HB Kali in last place. He is not having a good time here. Kudos to him for sticking with it and not quitting after the 3-minute first lap on slicks to change to wet tires. All right, here we go. Let's see where he ends up after the stop. And there goes Batazu. Looks like he made no mistakes and was fast enough on the slicks. It looks like 4 drivers in front still need to pit. Unit 992 also just pitted and is still ahead, so it should still be a net 3rd place right now. It will take a bit to catch up to the cars in front with the slicks on. Let's skip forward a bit to the next action.
Hello, Skip!
At the end of lap 13, places 1 and 2 are being held up by some drivers planning a late stop. This is allowing Dordanov to catch right back up. It also shows the tricky situation with the slicks right now. It's difficult to overtake when the dry line is this narrow, as it's extremely risky to get on the wet parts of the track. That is definitely going to be a penalty for crossing the pit line.
Yeah, it's 10-second penalty for opening. Exactly.
With those two drivers making their stop, everyone in front has now pitted for slicks, and it's back to third place. Batazu in front seems to be closing in on Unit 992. Hopefully that fight will slow them down and allow Dordanov to catch up to them. With these slick tires, it is extremely important to stay within the dry line and not touch any curbs. Those curbs are currently the most treacherous part of the track. Wow, he kind of aggressively closed the door there to prevent the overtake. Instead of leaving the room, he intentionally closed the gap right up. You could call that shenanigans, but let's first see if there were also some shenanigans involved in the incident where Unit 992 went off track.
I swear to God, I'll pistol whip the next guy that says shenanigans.
Looks like this first incident was just an honest mistake, and not the other thing I can't say any more now.
You mean shenanigans? Oh! You're talking about shenanigans, right?
Put those away!
The move to block Dordanov was something else, though, that was debatable at best. But he seems to consider it all fair game and continues on driving. For now, though, all that can be done is try and catch up and overtake to get revenge in a fair way. The Ferrari is pretty fast on this track, and there will be a slight yo-yo effect during the laps. Let's skip forward a bit.
Monster. Skip!
Take a look at the line Batazu is taking here. Straight over the wet curbs with his slicks. If he keeps doing things like this, there is a high probability he will spin off somewhere. Sure.
can't keep getting away with this!
Spoiler alert, he was in fact able to get away with this until the finish line. His pace was also very similar to Dordanov, so an overtake for first place was not made. So let's just rip the band-aid off and skip to the finish line.
Here's the sword of Skip.
And here we are. Due to a few mistakes trying to push too hard, the connection was lost a bit. So perhaps Batazu's pace was simply better after all.
Well, that is a pretty good result, I must say. Yes, a win would have been nice, but a second place in a tricky race like this is no easy feat. We bagged the highest point total this season so far and can look back at this race satisfied. We can see Unit 992 eventually fell back to 8th place, and Frosty managed to score a 10th here. He also tried the slot after this and improved his result to 7th in that race. Well done, mate. Now let's take a look at the current standings. Due to the missed race, the points are a bit low, but that will settle when others also have their drop round applied in the end. For now, not too bad. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next one.
Forbidden.